What's up, everybody? Noah Kiss back here for another episode of Noah and Scottie Reviews. This is episode 14. This is going to be a shorter episode, and I'm going to give you a bit of an update on how the show is going to go from now on. New releases are harder to come by right now. With things coming out that we really don't want to see, and since we're both being more picky with what we want to see, Christmas time is a special time. That's special. We're in the Christmas mood. The Halloween season, we're in the horror mood. Those are going to be different. But throughout the rest of the year, it's probably just going to be us talking about what we've watched over the last little bit. And we're going to go from February 23rd, and then we'll just say whether we liked it, if we have a lot to say on it, and let's get right into this. I have the Jurassic Park and World rankings along with the Conjuring films. We will be giving our review of Damsel. Oh, that smirk, that evil ass smirk right there. You and your wife are the ones who made me watch those Conjuring movies.
You liked them.
Well, I'm not gonna spoil them, but and then you guys will be saying what is the next one, and I'll be picking out the next one. We've already discussed them a little bit, so let's get right into it. First up is going to be our rankings of the Jurassic Park and World films. So this is going to be very interesting because I had never seen 3 of these films. Okay, so this is going to be different for me. The Jurassic Park films, I have a very strange history with them. I remember sitting down, watching the first one for the very first time, and I wasn't into it. I was a bit younger, so I wasn't fully into it like I should have been. I'm not even going to lie about that. But then in 2013, they did the re-release, and I went, I got to go to theaters to see it in 3D. It's Jurassic Park. I'm just going to do a little bit of a spoiler here for both of us. That one's the best one. Hands down.
Yeah.
But for me, anyways, this is going to be the ranking. The last one is going to be Jurassic World Dominion. This movie does not work for me. If it would stop moving, that'd be amazing. Jurassic World Dominion is the one where I just don't get into it until the last act. I really like the last act. Once we get out of the whole storyline, bringing all of them together, the old characters reconnecting, and the new characters meeting them, and yada, yada, yada. Once we get to the dinosaurs, that's when I get into it. We get the dinosaur battle, the T-Rex battle. That's awesome. That was great to see in theaters. But then we go to Lost World. I'm not a fan of Lost World either. This one didn't work for me as much as I wanted it to. I found that the characters in this were a bit annoying. I normally love Vince Vaughn. You know I love all of Vince Vaughn's comedies. I didn't like his character here. Julianne Moore felt out of place along with Vince Vaughn. Jeff Goldblum, obviously he's amazing in everything he does. He's Jeff Goldblum. That's a given. Yeah. But then next up, Jurassic Park 3. Unpopular opinion, I like 3 better than Lost World. It's a shorter film. It doesn't drag as much, and I think that the dinosaurs look a little bit better in that one, and I enjoy the story a bit better. But Fallen Kingdom is my 3rd favorite. It's more fun. I know that the cloning thing is stupid, and it is. It makes no sense. But I enjoy the kills. I enjoy when we're in that lab and they're doing like an auction, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really enjoy that. That's very intriguing. I like the story with Blue in that one. Blue now as a kid, and Blue is actually not that she wasn't a dinosaur before, but she's like a dinosaur now, where she is protective of this kid, of her baby. And I mean, what parent isn't? So that was very nice. She won't bite you, right? Oh, yes, she will. Yes, she will. But my first time seeing Jurassic World was phenomenal. I enjoyed that, especially the very beginning. That was great. The chase scenes are phenomenally shot, but nothing beats Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is one of the greatest sci-fi action films of all time. Hands down, one of the greatest of all time. I don't think anything is ever going to beat it. One of the greatest sci-fi action films ever made. It's remarkably rewatchable. I mean, how many times can you say you have sat down to only watch the first Jurassic Park and that's it?
That's usually all I ever watch. Sometimes the second one, but.
But what is your ranking of the Jurassic Park / World films?
So, in last place is Jurassic Park 3. For me, this was one I just did not like. Mm-hmm. You'd have all these in your top 5. Don't give me that look over there.
I love all of them, but it's still a lot different than what you guys are saying.
For me, I just did not care for Jurassic Park 3. And then next would be Fallen Kingdom. It's just, for me, a very forgettable film. One that I remember bits and pieces of, but especially the auction thing. But it's just one that doesn't ever come back to me when I'm thinking of the Jurassic Park movies. Then it would be Jurassic World Dominion. It was fun for what it was. I know Ashley loved it. So she loved having everybody back together in this one. But I had fun with it, so it wasn't the worst. Then Jurassic World. That could be just because somebody watches that one so much. I'm kind of...
Hey, I've not watched it in a very long time. Thank you very much.
You just watched it like last week or the week before. You turn it on. You never finish them. You watch it about halfway, then you turn them off.
I didn't put it on. I didn't. Don't look at me like that.
And then you have The Lost World and then Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm. What's the best moment out of the whole series? What do you think is the best scene?
Oh, Lord. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you, honestly.
I instantly know mine.
You instantly know yours?
It's probably one of the ones with Jeff Goldblum in it, the first one. But there's so many of
them. I'd say the first one has so many different scenes that have been iconic, from the toilet scene where the dinosaur breaks into the porta potty to Goldblum laying on the table with the shirt open, him riding in the back of the truck trying to get away from the dinosaurs in the first one. So I don't know. I couldn't pick one.
My favorite has to be when we first see all the dinosaurs. Just all the dinosaurs. Welcome to Jurassic Park. To the scene with the T-Rex trying to eat the kids, and that glass scene where it's starting to crack. I'm like, oh shit! If that was me. Nah. But this was a fun rewatch. Finally can say I've seen all the films. But one that I was terrified of, Conjuring. All these years, I've only seen 3 of them. And they were the Annabelles.
The Annabelles. Joy.
Yeah. Well, here's my ranking for them. You guys should know that they are bigger fans of the Conjuring films than I am. But also, the Conjuring is like a comfort film for Ashley. She can shove that film on any time of day, and she's in a good mood. But for me, watching it for the first time, let's get right into it. First up is going to be, in last place, obviously, is The Curse of La Llorona. Only because...
I agree with that one.
Well, see, Scottie and I had a bit of a discussion on this one, we see how it's connected to the universe, but it's not really connected to the universe in the same way. I mean, Annabelle is in it, but that's like saying, hey, in Groundhog Day, he sees the same episode of Jeopardy 47 times. So he automatically wins all that money from that day. No. That's not how that works. If you're going to connect this universe, it would have the Conjuring feel to it. And to me, The Curse of La Llorona is a generic horror film that does nothing for me. But this one, I hate to say it, The Nun. The Nun's up next. The Nun's up next. But The Nun 2, I thought was better. I thought it had better scares. I liked the characters more. I thought The Nun was creepier in this one. But this is where you guys are going to get a little bit angry. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It is up next. I wanted more of a horror feel to this one. I didn't think it has enough scary moments or creepiness to it. It was more focused on the case. I enjoyed the first, 15 minutes with the kid and his brother sort of taking over for his little brother or whatever. That was very intriguing. I liked that. But once we got to the court case, you just completely lost me. I thought it had some creepy moments to it. The acting was very well done. The contortionists were phenomenal. I don't know how you do that. I don't care if you are double jointed. I couldn't do that even if I was double jointed. I'm not going to lie. But Annabelle is up next. I enjoy this more than other people do. There was one scene specifically when I watched this for the first time, which by the way, I did not rewatch the Annabelle films because I already knew my ranking of them. I already knew them because I watched all three of them back to back to back. Once Comes Home came to Blu-ray. But Annabelle, that one scene, it has to do with the stairs and the devil swings out. That scared the shit right out of me. Because I was not expecting that one scare. Conjuring is up next. That's going to get me in hot water. But The Conjuring is not my favorite. I think it's a good film. I think it just starts to drag. The first hour is phenomenal. The first hour. Once we start to figure out that it's the mom who is the one who's possessed, and we start seeing her do stuff, then it starts to drag for me a little bit. But I didn't know that there was going to be a couple scenes where they tease the scene. I didn't know that. I was waiting for it. I'm like, well, it's not here, is it? As soon as we got it, I'm like, there it is. There it is. And it was actually nice to finally see it. Annabelle Comes Home is what happened there? What happened there? Okay. I clicked on something and it brought me to Hulu. That's great. Annabelle Comes Home is one of the better Conjuring films. I enjoy it because I want more with the wedding dress. I like the story of that. I want to know what actually happened with that. I would like that origin. I think it's whoever wears that wedding dress goes on a killing spree. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine a Conjuring killer type of film? Like a slasher film in a way? I would like that. That would be very intriguing to me. I did enjoy the friend in that film. I enjoyed that, but nothing beats Annabelle Creation. easily the best of the Annabelle films, but my favorite is The Conjuring 2.
Listen,
The
you are
Conjuring
wrong.
2. Let me explain why, all right? This one creeped me out the most. It gave me the best feel to it. It's a dreary film. I got a good scare out of it. I nearly shit myself with one of the scenes because I didn't know. My house. I didn't know the My House scene. I didn't know that shit was coming up. I was laying in bed and I was just watching that shit, and all of a sudden he goes, "My house." I nearly threw the computer across the freaking room. But it was a good scare. I enjoyed it. I really enjoy those creepy, dreary London moments. The nun in that is very intriguing. I enjoy the kill, if you will, that we get to see of Ed. And yes, I'm spoiling everything. I don't care. It's been out since 2016. If you haven't seen it yet, you have no interest in seeing the Conjuring films. But I enjoyed The Conjuring 2 way more than I was expecting this. And I enjoyed doing these more than I thought I ever would. I was expecting these to be like 2 stars, half star, 1 star, fuck this series. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed 2. I can easily see myself buying 2 if I find it from like a Dollar Tree or something. If I find the Annabelle creation, Annabelle Comes Home, I can easily see myself buying those for cheap. But I can't see myself ever rewatching The Curse of La Llorona again. The Nun movies, I'm not saying never. If I have a friend over, if I'm on a date and they want to watch it, sure. But on my own, I'm going to have no interest in rewatching those. But what is yours? And then I'm going to ask for Ashley's because she's a massive fan.
Don't start with me.
You better get this right.
Don't
I'm
start with
gonna
me.
pound you.
Don't start with me.
Face.
So my bottom 2 are kind of interchangeable. They both kind of fall in that same category of forgettable films in the franchise, and that's The Curse of La Llorona and The Nun.
No, you messed one of them up, damn it.
To me, The Nun is just a very forgettable one.
Keep going. Keep going.
My God.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Just tell me how I'm wrong in a minute.
Yes.
Next is Annabelle. To me, Annabelle, as much as we watched them all, Annabelle has so many issues with story.
You talking about the first one?
Yeah, the first Annabelle has so many story issues, making things make sense with the timeline and stuff, and when things were supposed to be happening. That to me, it's one of the worst in the franchise. Then would be The Conjuring: The Devil Made Me Do It. It's good. I enjoy it for what it is, but it definitely doesn't have the same feel as the other movies does. Does kind of drag a little, but still overall I get some fun out of it. Then it would be The Nun 2, one that I enjoyed more than The Nun, and one that I think got a lot of hate for me no reason.
Yeah.
It's not
and then,
that bad.
Yeah. And then it would be Annabelle Creation. I do like that one, and it does have its creepy moments, but I think I like Annabelle Comes Home a little more. To me, it's got more of the creepier moments, more of the dark moments that really set the Conjuring universe with how it is. And then you would have The Conjuring at number 2, and The Conjuring 2 is my favorite.
What? Okay.
And she don't like my ranking,
No,
apparently.
this is how it needs to go. And I want y'all to listen very carefully.
Oh, okay. We gotta listen very carefully.
So at the very bottom,
she's gonna school our asses, okay?
at the very bottom, obviously is Chris Wallerona. We all agree on that. That's just not. It didn't never need to be made. Then you have Conjuring 3. That would make me do it. I agree with Noah, where it didn't have a lot of the horror aspect. It was a lot of the case, and I liked the first like 15 to 25 minutes, and then I was done with it. Did not like it that much. And then the first Annabelle, and then Annabelle Comes Home, and then The Nun, and then the probably Annabelle Creation, and then The Nun 2. And then Conjuring is Conjuring 2, and then Conjuring at the very top. But depending on my day, Conjuring 2 can be in first place. It depends what type of movie I'm in the mood for, because Conjuring 2 has just a little bit of a different atmosphere to it. But that's how it's supposed to go, and y'all better get it right.
So we are both wrong, but we knew she was going to school us. But where I know I'm going to get schooled. What's next, guys? What's the next horror franchise we're doing?
Insidious.
Mm-hmm. We're doing the Insidious films.
You're gonna have fun with that one.
Well, at least you've seen one of them so far.
But it's not like the other ones.
I've seen The Red Door, and I'm not going to say it's a bad film because it's not a bad film at all. I think it's really a good film. I think it's a good film. But I've heard it's the weakest of the franchise. So if I went into that one giving it a 3-star, I'm good. I think I'm going to be good with it. Knowing the one scene. I know
it's a little bit different with the other one just because you have more of the demon in it rather than him walking around. So I don't know if he'll get scared or not.
I'm gonna rent them this weekend, and then when we do the show next time, we'll be doing those. But then after that, next week is gonna be fun. We gonna have some fun. Or I have some fun. This is my wheelhouse now. We got a new Tyler Hynes movie coming out, Shifting Gears. We're gonna be ranking all his films. All his Hallmark films. Doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, because it's not. It's not going to be easy. That dude doesn't have a bad film in the bunch.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Because they're all about 5 stars for me, so I don't know how you're going to put that in.
Just name them all.
I think it's going to be hard to say which one is my least favorite, because right now I know what it is, but it's just going to depend on the rewatches. And yes, we are including all the Christmas ones, but that's okay. Because if we did all his other films that weren't Christmas, it would be a bit of a pain. Because that'd be a short ranking. Because he didn't have a whole lot of non-Christmas. I mean, that dude had 2 come out the year before, 1 came out last year, and well, yeah. But next up is Insidious and Tyler Hynes. Next up on the docket is going to be my review of Damsel. Damsel is the brand new film from Netflix. They were nice enough to send me over a screener for this one. I really was interested in this one. Millie Bobby Brown is a star I want to see more from. She is one where I like her as an actress from what I've seen from her. Not going to speak on the quality of the Godzilla films because, well, she's not really we're not supposed to really want to see the human characters in the Godzilla films. We're supposed to want to see the monsters. Like in Godzilla vs. Kong, we're there for Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't care about the people. Just give me the fight. The dutiful damsel agrees to marry a handsome prince, only to find the royal family has recruited her as a sacrifice to repay an ancient debt, thrown into a cave with a fire-breathing dragon. She must rely on her wits and will to survive. Here's the issue. Here's my issue. This movie is not really about that. It's not about that. The first 30 to 35 minutes is about her building up to getting thrown into the pit, thrown into the cave. You get to meet her family. You get to meet his family. You get to meet the royals. You get to meet him. You get the wedding. You get all that stuff. I was fine and dandy with that. The costume design was beautiful. I enjoyed the cinematography, beautiful production design. The CGI was phenomenal. The makeup was on point. However, once we get thrown into that cave with her, that's where it goes downhill quick. Because the dragon is barely utilized to where I wanted it to be. Now, I'm not speaking about the topic of the dragon talking. That's not an issue. Which we will go into a bit of that without trying to go into spoilers. But for me, Damsel does have really, really good dialogue in the very beginning of it. I enjoyed the build-up. Once we get to the dungeon, there's barely anything for Millie Bobby Brown to do. She has nothing to do but run and scream. Run and scream. That's her character for the rest of the film. While the CGI on the dragon is very, very good, it looks different from like a Game of Thrones dragon, from the dragon in Shrek. It doesn't look like your typical dragon that we've seen. I enjoyed the different look. The CGI was a bit poor in some of the fire scenes, specifically in the very beginning, down this one hallway type of thing. That looked really bad, but it could have been the screener I got, because in screeners sometimes the picture isn't quite right. It's not 100% what it's going to be when you're actually going to watch it once it is up there for everyone to watch. That's just the thing with every single screener. Every screener has that issue, so it could be just a screener issue. But that movie started to drag. Damsel starts to drag. Once we get to them talking, they're having a conversation. Her sister comes into the mix. Her family comes in to try, her dad comes in to try and rescue her. That's where it starts to really, really drag. But Millie Bobby Brown is so charming. She knows what she's doing. She can play this role in her sleep. She can play this role in her sleep. Hands down. My issue is the script here. The script, they have nothing for her to do. If you have nothing for the character to do, then your script is somewhat lazy. Yes, you're writing action. You have good CGI for the most part, except for that one bit that I noticed. But when your story isn't built around your main character, you're not showing her being a badass. You're not showing her training to try and beat the dragon. You're not showing her doing anything to train. She's running and screaming. Then once we get to a big action scene, she just knows how to use a sword. She all of a sudden knows how to use a sword, knows how to hold one, knows how to stab. She knows how to do all this now. I'm not believing that. I enjoyed this overall. The more you think about the film, though, the worse it gets. I'm not going to lie. Over the past week, the more we've talked about it, the worse the movie has gotten from me. However, I'm still sticking with my original score because it's out of 3.5 on Letterboxd. I enjoyed it overall. I just wanted more from it. This one is not hitting everybody the right way. This is right down the middle with critics. And I'm one of those critics where I'm right down the middle with it. I'm going to go with a 3.5 out of 5. So what is your score? And what's your thoughts on Damsel?
Well, so for me, I think the cinematography, costume design, CGI, all that worked very well. I think Millie Bobby Brown did a great job with what they told her to do. You know, it is a fantasy film, so you can't really look hard into like the talking dragons or the glowing slug things that can heal people. I mean, that's just kind of stuff that you kind of expect in a fantasy film. But to me, there was another YouTuber I saw basically said this movie was like Ready or Not, but with the dragon. And I could definitely see that because you have somebody who's tricked into a marriage, in my opinion, for no reason. I think I told you, in my opinion, there was no sense in the whole marriage and everything. And she's just tossed down into a hole, which pretty big, deep hole she fell into, and and somehow survived. But she's just running around for the entire movie, and I mean, it was fine for what it was, but there was no really tense moments. There was no real scary, on the edge of your seat moments. The ending, once she defeats the dragon, it's okay. It's fine. She didn't really do a whole lot, in my opinion, but overall I gave it a 3 out of 5. I think it's a film that was just a one-time watch that was just okay. It's nothing that I would ever watch again, unfortunately, because I'm a fan of Millie Bobby Brown, but I like to see her do stuff outside of Stranger Things that become a big hit. I know, with this and then Enola Holmes, nothing's really stood out for her as of yet and been a big hit, in my opinion, probably most people's opinions. And I'm just hoping she lands that big role eventually that kind of shoots her into the stardom that she deserves, because she is such a great actress, but she's just getting handed kind of films.
And now, guys, this is going to be the part where we're not really critics when we do this segment, all right? From now on, what we're going to do is we're just going to go through what we watched, because then we would have no show. This would be the show. This would be the show. So, yes, it's still going to be called No One's Guide to Reviews because we're technically still reviewing a film, but at this point, we're not film critics. We're going to tell you if we enjoyed the film or not. Now, when I get a screener for like a Damsel, or for like a Netflix series, or for like a Hallmark film, sure. But when I do a Hallmark film, I'm just going to be a fan from now on, because doing the reviews, it's been fun. I'm still going to do the reviews, but when we do this show, it's just going to be us being a fan of that. Like with the Tyler Hynes films coming up. That's just going to be stupid fun. We're going to enjoy it either way. It's going to get an automatic 3 to 3.5 stars because he's already in it, and he's going to be phenomenal. Everything he touches, he's King Midas. Everything he touches pretty much turns to gold anymore.
Yeah.
And I have a bit of a surprise, which I will tell you about afterwards, because I haven't told you yet, but that'll be very exciting. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through what we both watched over the past little bit. And if we have something to say on it, we have something to say on it. If we don't, then that's just perfectly fine. If I have a review for it, I will show you my review for it and go over it. But I'm just going to start off with a little film that we both watched, but I will be talking about first. And once I pop that up here, it will be this way. So, Sydney White. I watched this on the 22nd of February. I thought it was a very good mid-2000s comedy. It worked for me. I really enjoyed this story of her being in a sorority and then having to go and stay with the nerds. I thought that was very funny. Being a nerd myself, I really, really enjoy this type of story. It's a college film, and sorority films, fraternity films in a way really are my favorite type of comedy because I enjoy most of the American Pie films. I enjoy the Band Camp, Naked Mile, Beta House, and the Book of Love as stupid, fun, raunchy, R-rated, gross-out comedies. That's exactly what they're meant to be. They're supposed to be about the gross-out humor, the drinking, the sex, and the nudity. And they nail on all those accounts. And that's what I want from those films. Sydney White is no different. I loved this movie. It's fun, it's short, it whizzes by at a rapid pace. And I can definitely see myself enjoying this one many, many more times down the line. But next up is going to be Man Up. Man Up is a film that I really didn't enjoy all that much. Like I wanted to, right? This is a movie that I wanted to love because I am a rom-com guy. This is more of a rom-dramedy in a way. It's all about this girl who pretends to be this guy's blind date. And things go south. We all know how that goes. Thankfully, one thing I did like about this film is that she didn't leave this lie on for too long. She finally got to the point where she decided to tell him the truth because she had no other choice. She was stuck in a certain situation, if you want to say that, where she had to. And I enjoyed that, but this movie should have been a lot funnier with Simon Pegg in it. The chemistry is there. It's a very well done film. It's very well made. It just should have been funnier, and I went with a 3.5 on that one. Next up is Snatch. Very unpopular opinion here, but I don't care. I just said this wasn't for me. This is one that I thought was a little bit overly long at only an hour and a half, but it felt like 2.5 hours. This movie really did not need to be this long. I didn't find it all that funny. I found it to be pretty boring at some points. The action was well done, but the story was not for me. Jason Statham's in it. So technically it's a Jason Statham film, but this is more of a Brad Pitt film. I didn't like his accent. I thought the accent was very, very just it got on my nerves. I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. But and you know, I love Brad Pitt. I love this dude. I have him above me. I love this dude. Snatch just didn't work for me, and I wanted more from it. Oh God. Crime Time Free Fall. This one, okay. This is a Hallmark film that was all about a former crime series actress named Hadley Warner, and she retires from a small town where she encounters her first real case. Using her crime TV knowledge, she teams up with Detective Sean Caden to solve the case, starring Lindy Greenwood and Luke McFarlane. As you can see, I did not enjoy this film very much. 2.5 out of 5. This one, the mystery was not all that intriguing. It felt like it was dragging. There was some chemistry between these two stars, but when your mystery is not all that intriguing and you don't write a good screenplay for it to really not get me invested on who did it, why they did it, I don't care by that point. Next up, obviously I watched all the Conjuring films. You know my thoughts on those. Sense and Sensibility, this is the weakest of all of the great Jane Austen films. Yeah.
I'm glad we
I'm,
skipped all that.
I will say this: the best one was probably Paging Mr. Darcy. Was probably the best one. But I'm looking forward to getting back to great films. Next up is Georgia Rule. This one's really, really good. It's just overly long. I think it's about 15, 20 minutes too long. It's more of a drama that doesn't know how it wants, what it really wants to be. It's totally unfocused at some points. It's all about Lindsay Lohan, and she's a rebellious, uncontrollable teen, and she goes to live with her grandmother for a summer. And to be there, she has to work, and she's not really used to that. Her mom hasn't been the best mom, and she meets this guy. He's a Christian. Things aren't really going her way. She wants to sleep with him. And it gets to the point where it's more about the drama between her family than what she's actually doing in the town. It gets to the point where it's totally unfocused, where we get a good bit of comedy. Then we get a portion of the film where it's all about her potentially lying about being molested by her stepfather. And not saying that it didn't need to be in there. The issue is you don't focus on it enough to really make it a core story point, to really harp on it too much. You joke about it, which I didn't find funny at all. There's a scene near the very, very end where she kind of blackmails him in a way. I didn't like that all that much. Lindsay Lohan, I like her as an actress. I'm looking forward to her new film on Netflix this weekend called Irish Wish. I really am. But this film was overly long, and I thought it was totally unfocused. And a couple of the scenes were very unnecessary for my liking. There's just some things that you shouldn't joke about, and it just got to the point where I was over it. But by that point, still a good little film. But next up is Host. Hosts is creepy, very good jump scares, good acting, and it's really short. 4 out of 5. I enjoyed that as a short little 50-minute horror film. There's one really good scene at the very, very end that I was not expecting. That last jump scare that got me, but I'm definitely glad I saw it. Next up is Commando. I watched that right after Host. This is just a stupid film. It's a over-the-top action film from 1985. It knows what it is, and it doesn't try to be anything else. Spaceman. On to the next one. No. Spaceman is one that I don't have a whole lot to say about. Spaceman is overly long. It's poorly paced. You don't care about any of the characters. The CGI on the spider is very, very good. The script is not all that well written. Adam Sandler's very good in the role, but if you don't care about the characters and the story is poorly paced and not well written, your movie kind of fails. Then I went on a little bit of a trip, and I didn't know what to watch. I had no idea what to watch. I didn't watch anything the day before. Usually I try to watch a movie a day, and I haven't watched anything over the past couple of days. But tomorrow and this weekend, I do have some films coming up that I will be watching. I'm very, very excited for. More on that here in just a little bit. But you were watching some films at work, which you will say, and you told me that you were watching Dracula Untold, and I went, well, I haven't seen that. I want to see that. Let's see how it is. That was fun. That was fun. After this video, I'm going to go on YouTube and watch the movie reviews for it because I just want to know what was so bad about it. I found it fun. The CGI and the moments with Luke Evans as as that character. But Dracula was phenomenal. He's great in that role. I really enjoyed how they really played into he can't be in the sunlight when it's super super bright. He burns at one point, and I just really enjoyed that. We already gave our thoughts on Damsel. Poor things. Poor things. Okay. So, as you know, we're not doing the news anymore. We will talk about one specific thing that I would like to bring up, but that's just because I think it might be a little bit fun. But we're not going to do the massive news anymore. Emma Stone did win the Best Actress Oscar. No issue with that. No issue. One thing that was shocking is that it won 4 Oscars. 4. I was expecting 2 or 3. I was sure that Barbie was going to get that production design. I was very sure. Because of the pink paint shortage, the building of the house. After watching Poor Things, I'm like, okay, it's deserving of the costume design and the production design. I can't remember the other one it won, but I know it also won Best Actress. My personal pick was Lily Gladstone. I love Emma Stone to death. Obviously, I have her right here in a Cruella poster, and I have the La La Land poster right here. I love her as an actress. Love her in Easy A and Superbad. I even like her in the Amazing Spider-Man films. This movie, she's very good. It's overly long. It's overly long, though, man. It should not be 2 hours and 20 minutes. It starts to drag. And there's moments where I think you could have shaved off a good couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. Oh, yeah. That's the other award it won. The makeup is phenomenal. It won the makeup and hairstyling, which everybody thought was going to Maestro, including me. But the makeup on Willem Dafoe, man. The makeup on Willem Dafoe is phenomenal. But I'm not saying it should have won Best Picture, and I'm kind of glad it didn't. It went to Oppenheimer. I think one of the best films of the year. If I was picking, it would have gone to Killers of the Flower Moon, but that's just me. Poor Things is definitely one of the better Best Picture films. It's not in my bottom 5. My least favorites would definitely be The Zone of Interest, Anatomy of a Fall, and Maestro. And probably American Fiction, Poor Things, Killers of the Flower Moon. No. Poor Things, Barbie, Oppenheimer, and Killers of the Flower Moon up there. But I enjoyed Poor Things and cannot wait to buy that. Then I watched The Zone of Interest. This movie was not for me, but I can definitely appreciate the acting in it. I can appreciate the sound design, the costume design. The script was very well written. This movie was just so poorly paced to me. I think this should have been a bit more of a talky film compared to sounds. There's a lot of sound in this movie, and it takes place next to a concentration camp where this family lives. Very depressing film, great performances, just not for me, but I'm not gonna discount the fact that it's super well made. Then I watched All the Right Moves. This movie worked for me way more. I enjoyed the football scenes. I enjoyed the chemistry between our two stars here. Tom Cruise is phenomenal. Leah Thompson? Thompson?
Yeah, Thompson.
Leah Thompson's great. The chemistry is very good. The movie starts to grind a little bit towards the last act, and that's why it's down to a 3.5. But on a rewatch, that could easily go up to a 4. Easily go up to a 4. Next up was Taxi Driver. I love that movie. I loved Taxi Driver, man. That was so good. It didn't drag whatsoever. but where it gets to the violence, it gets a little too violent for its own good, I think. The violence is in the film, okay? There's a lot of nastiness in this film, but it's warranted. However, it gets too violent for its own good in the last 10 to 15 minutes once we get to the big scenes. And if it weren't for that, it would have gone with a 4.5. But Raging Bull was by far the best thing I've watched in the past month to month and a half. Was Raging Bull. This is a phenomenal film, boxing film from 1980. Roger Ebert said it was the best film of the 1980s. That all the films him and Gene Siskel saw, Raging Bull was the best one. I don't know that I agree. It's The Breakfast Club for me, but it's okay. Raging Bull is still freaking phenomenal. After that, I watched Migration. A friend of mine sent me the code, and we watched that at the same time. Really enjoyed that film. 4 stars. The Basketball Diaries, a Leo film that I wanted to love, but I really didn't love as much as I wanted to. It got to the point where it was just there. The performances are very good. The movie's a little bit overly long. It's too much focused on the drugs. There's not a lot of moments where it starts to lighten up the mood at all. Not at all. It's a very dull, dry film where there's not a lot of happiness to it. But Leo's great. Mark Wahlberg is great in this film. This is definitely before he became Mark Wahlberg. But this is Leo. I'm not going to say at his very best, but this is Leonardo DiCaprio. There's a couple of films I did not rank, but I will get into those in just a minute. No Way Up is a film that I wanted more from. I wanted a lot more from No Way Up. I wanted more of the shark. I wanted more of them trying to get away from the shark, but it's pretty much just a film about them trying to get out of the plane and trying to swim up. That's basically it. People are dying because of a shark bite and other stuff, and I thought this film was just a very poor film. However, what I thought was not a poor film was Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Rachel Zegler is phenomenal, and it doesn't want me to rate it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go with the 3.5 on this one. Rachel Zegler is a star. Tom Blythe steals this film as young President Snow. The movie is just overly long. The last act, once we get out of the Hunger Games, that's where it really starts to just go. I was about a 4 to 4.5. But this movie is about 30-ish minutes too long. 25, 30, 40 minutes too long. At almost 2 hours and 40 minutes, pushing 2 hours and 40 minutes, way too long. Should have shaved that off, and it would have been one of the best films of last year. Peter Dinklage is great, and Viola Davis is freaking phenomenal. But this is a movie that I was not expecting to enjoy as much as I did, and that is American Dreamer. This is all about an economics teacher who wants to buy a house, and he finds this listing where a old widow is selling it for basically nothing, and he finds out that there's a lot of things wrong with that house. He forms a bond with her, and that's just a very sweet story. There's good chemistry between him and his love interest. It really wasn't focused upon all that much. There's a moment here and there where I'm like, okay, where is she at? Because you developed this story and you didn't really bring her in all that much until the very tail end. They slept together, but that's basically about it. But that is everything that I watched. And while I pull up your stuff, this is going to be a bit of a longer list, but this is going to be a very good list, I think. And maybe. Hello?
It says no.
We will get there eventually. We will get there eventually. It'll be okay. It'll be all right. We'll just go with this one right here. Take that film. I'll go down to your review, and I'll go from there. There, go there. Okay, we're gonna go down to the 23rd. Well, maybe. Hello, 23rd. Now, one thing that you are going to see on his, okay? I would like you to explain why there will be no stars on some of them, because I know that somebody is going to ask. But hey, let me see. We're still learning here, folks.
I'll say if it won't come up, I can always look up my thing.
There we go. I got it. There we go. Starting off with the 23rd.
Yeah, so Man Up and Leap Year obviously is on here, but no stars, basically because to help me remember that I've watched them, or I put them on here, but I didn't finish them. For me, they just did not keep my attention long enough to finish the movie. Lost complete interest, so I just turned them off. But so I don't forget that I did watch them, I put them on here. That way I can easily look it up and see that I have it on my list. That way I know not to rewatch it, or that I've seen it before. So everything, there's a few on there that I had shut off. I don't know if it's any past the 23rd, but enjoyed Date Night. That was a fun one. I think I'd seen maybe bits and pieces of that one before, but not the whole thing. Hills Have Eyes 2 was a rewatch. The Seventh Day, I'm very big into the possession type films, but that one was just a terrible one. It was awful. Hated that I even sat through it, but I pushed myself through it.
Hello.
It's jumping everywhere. I Am Lisa. Yeah. I Am Lisa was just a very but what didn't give me what I wanted. It was pretty bad. I expected more from it. I expected more gore from it. That she really wasn't a werewolf that much, and when she did, she kind of had a conscious and didn't go through with her her animal instincts. So I didn't like that one. Friday's a classic. Love Friday. That was just an easy watch. Blade 2 was an easy rewatch. And then I think I hit a strand of them there where I did not care for, did not finish. And even your When Harry Met Sally did not finish because it just was not for me. To me, that's nowhere near the best rom-com. So
he did not have what she was having.
For me, that one, the way it was set up, it was kind of set up like a film. With Ashton Kutcher in it, where they meet and it jumps a few years or whatever, and then they meet again. It jumps a few years.
Your place from no.
As I have it upstairs, I can't remember. I enjoyed that one, but I can't remember. This one kind of does the same thing where they go on that road trip, and then they meet up again, and then she's married, and it jumps time again. For me, for this one, for some reason, it didn't work. I don't know what it was with it, but it just didn't work for me like it did with Ashton Kutcher's movie. Weekend at Bernie's was a rewatch I hadn't seen forever. My Boyfriend's Back was one I wanted to watch before Lisa Frankenstein came to physical, because I know that's sort of in the same realm of type of a movie. I enjoyed it. Blood Rain was fine. It had the gore, but the story which wasn't all that good. The Campus, that went by a different name. I can't remember even the real name for it, but obviously I didn't finish that one.
See, let me see if it says it, because sometimes it says also no. It's not going to tell me. That's okay. It's okay. It's not going to tell me.
And then we hit Strand, a couple of good movies. It moved. Devour was fun. It's one that had me thinking. I had to really sit with. I'll probably give that one a rewatch, but to see how I feel. But as of right now, it still stayed in the collection. Backwoods, it was all right. I kind of wanted more from it. I wanted more of a Wrong Turn feel from it, and it sort of gave me that in a way, but definitely not near as good as the Wrong Turn franchise. Sydney White was great. Love Amanda Bynes. Sydney White and She's the Man are probably have to be two of my top two favorites from her. Then I watched Saved, Love Wreck, both 3.5 stars. Saved, it was good. It about drove me insane with how much they brought up Jesus and everything in it, but it's set at a Christian school, so it's kind of there. Love Wreck, I enjoyed. I know a lot of people hate Love Wreck, but I enjoyed that one. Joe's Apartment, Ashley absolutely hated.
I died watching that movie.
She couldn't stand the roaches and thought it was stupid with the singing and everything. So, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It was just a fun watch. Wonka, we finally watched that. Liked it more than I thought I would. Wouldn't say it was my favorite. I think the story has issues, but still a good one. Let's see. Then a couple of rewatches, and then Dracula Untold, Season of the Witch, and Wolf Man are three that I've been wanting to see for a little while. Finally watched them, and they all hit me the same. I loved all three of those. Dampier was on Netflix. It was good, but not as good as I wanted it to be. Bend It Like Beckham, I made it through it. It took a lot to make it through it. I was getting so bored during that film. I felt like the story just wasn't good. The script should have been a lot more better than what it was. It wasn't focused enough on the romance. So, but I made it through enough to rate it. Freelance, gave that a watch finally, even though I wasn't going to, but I know you enjoyed that one a lot more than me. So for me, it was fine. I didn't love it. I didn't think the action scenes, they were good, but they weren't overly amazing for me. John Cena did fine. I didn't really like Alison Brie's character that much. But still good enough for 2.5. Anaconda, just a rewatch there. Dune, watched the first Dune. It was good. I think the cinematography was great. Acting was great. Just very slow. Not a lot going on, as we know. That's what was said when it came out. And that's pretty much what it is. It's not very fast paced. So we'll see what the second one brings. Next Goal Win was just a very fun soccer film. One both me and Ashley both loved. Very funny. Taika Waititi did a great job with that one. One of my favorite from him, next to Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
let's see. All the Right Moves, 2.5. Obviously, you liked that one more than me. I just felt like the story had issues, and I'm not a Tom Cruise fan, so I could not really connect with the movie because I just despise Tom Cruise. Really, there's very few things I like him in. Let's see. First Blood was a rewatch. Priest was a rewatch, which I know a lot of people don't like Priest, but I do. Migration. That one was fun. I watched it just to throw on to have something to watch. I got some laughs from it. The animation style was nice. But
you went
for
through
me,
heck to watch that.
yeah, I had tried about I think 5, 6, 7 times to try to get that thing to start. Never finally got it to work. So
yeah.
But I mean, I would say it was worth it, but unfortunately not something I would watch again. Angry Black Girl and Her Monster was one that I'd heard sort of bad things about, but I wanted to see it because it was kind of like Frankenstein-esque. And it was, but at the same time, it was just a poor version of it. It didn't work that well. But there was still enough there that it got the 3 stars. Mean Girls, the musical version, basically a shot for shot almost of the Lindsay Lohan movie that is extended with musical numbers. So for me, it doesn't touch the original. I much prefer the Lindsay Lohan version. It's more iconic. The lines hit better. For me, it was just right there in the middle. I thought Renee did great, but overall, I think it was just way too long. Damsel, we talked about that already. And then just some rewatches, pretty much. Just easy things to turn on that I enjoy, from Little Nicky to The Mummy, Mummy Returns, Underwater. And then I got the Dog Soldiers, which was good. I don't think I loved it as much as some people do, but it was still good. Hurricane Heist, I'd say I probably liked more than most people, but nothing I'd watch again. Same with Pandorum. I know a lot of people don't like that one, but I did. Castle Freak, the remake, was slow. I wanted more from it. At the third act did great. It gave me more of what I wanted, but to get to it was just a drag. Then I woke up one morning at 5:30 and decided to throw on a movie, so I watched Drugstore June. For me, the comedy didn't land. I really can't say on the acting if the acting was good or not, because I don't know if it was poor acting on our main girl's part, or if that's just the way they wanted her to play the character. But for me, the movie was fine. It dragged a little, but I laughed maybe a couple times here or there, but overall it was just a very film that fell right in the middle for me there at 3 stars. No Way Up is one that me and Ashley watched. She enjoyed it, but she didn't love it. She said she would never watch it again.
What?
No Way Up.
No, I enjoyed it, but it was a one-time watch. And I'm not too picky on my shark movies.
Yeah. Well, if it had more sharks, you'd probably had it higher, and you probably would have watched it.
Oh, yeah. If it had more sharks, I'd be more for it, I think. But I just wasn't.
But yeah, that was one that was more focused on just being like trapped in a plane, and it's sinking and falling off I guess the reef or whatever that was. So not really focused much on sharks. And American Dreamer, I threw that on, and we got some laughs from it. Peter Dinklage was good, but overall, it just, to me, the story dragged. I kind of disconnected from it after a while. Wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. I kind of was hoping we'd get a lot more banter back and forth between her and Peter Dinklage and kind of play off each other a little bit more. But it was just okay at best. And I think that might be it that I've watched so far, isn't it?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, because I ain't watched nothing today. So, but yeah, that is everything I've watched since then. But a lot of okay to really good watches, but then some I never finished. So, kind of a mixed bag.
And one thing that we did talk about is that we might have to do the Mummy movies as well.
Yeah.
Because as I told you, I've never seen any of the Mummy movies all the way through. So
No.
I own them. They're right over there. I can see them. But next up, and the final topic is going to be what's coming next. And what's coming next is going to be one that is going to be a bit of a mixed bag. Because since we're not doing a lot of new releases anymore, we're still going to look at the new releases just to see if there's every single week there's stuff that comes out that I don't even know that it's coming out until I look on Friday morning. But we're just going to go to releases.com and see what's coming out because you just never know. So pull up releases.com and we will just go through here, go to all the movies, and yeah. So this is going to be a bit of an interesting time. So today we did have some stuff come out, Little Wing on Paramount Plus and Silver Haze on VOD. Tomorrow is Taylor Swift The Eras Tour on Disney Plus. That's going to have 4 extended songs. Yep. From the extended version, 4 acoustic songs. I wonder how long that's actually going to be. That's when I will finally watch it, is when it drops on Disney Plus.
You'll love it.
Cruel Summer. No. But next up will be Irish Wish. I don't know if you will watch that one or not. I'm very interested in it.
I'll probably watch it. I ain't watched the trailer. I'm trying not to watch a trailer because I don't want to get any expectations or get in a bad way with it. So just kind of avoided the trailers.
Next up is going to be coming down here. I will be watching this. The Bloody 100th. Bloody 100th is a documentary all about the actual guys from the show that I'm watching right now on Apple TV Plus called Masters of the Air. This week is the final episode. I've yet to watch the newest episode, so I'm waiting until maybe tomorrow to watch the second to last episode of that series. I'm really enjoying it so far. It is starting to drag a little bit. It's starting to get really slow, and it's getting to the point where I'm like, okay, can we pick this up a little bit? The last episode is 1 hour and 17 minutes, so that might be a bit of a issue, maybe. I'm hoping not, but I'm looking forward to that. And then next time on the show, I'll be giving my review of that one. There's a movie coming to VOD called State of Consciousness with Emil Hirsch. I'm not sure what that is. It says it's a thriller from Lionsgate, so that could go one of 2 ways.
Usually it's the bad way.
Yeah. We have Trolls Band Together on Peacock. Seen the first 2.
Trolls Band Together on Peacock, honey.
Oh, I get to see my boy band songs.
So are you going to force him to watch that, or are you going to watch that this weekend without him?
I don't know. I feel like I should force them to, but I may not.
I wouldn't be surprised. I've seen the other two with her, so.
I didn't watch the second one with you. I didn't like that.
I think we watched it. We watched it together, though, didn't we?
No.
Maybe
You
I watched
and
it with.
Addison.
Oh, I watched it with Addison. That's right. That's right. I watched that with Addison, the second one.
And the 19th, we have a rom-com with Zach Braff and Vanessa Hudgens called French Girl. I haven't watched the trailer for that one. I am staying away from that one. It is from the same distributor, as Air Force One Down. So, yay! I sound so excited. The 21st is Roadhouse. Looking forward to that one. I will have to rewatch the original Roadhouse. It's been so long since I've seen the original Roadhouse. I need to give that one a rewatch. I might even do a rewatch of Roadhouse 2.
No.
Yeah.
You don't need that one.
I have seen it once, and that was garbage. That was garbage. I'm not really sure what this is. Freaknik?
Freaknik. The wildest party ever told, never told. There you go.
It's a
Might keep
documentary.
your parents' bathroom.
22nd, yeah. Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. I will be going to theater to see that one. I have yet to see the last one. So I'm going to get on that one.
Yeah, you got some watching to do between that, the first one of that one, the first Dune, Dune 2, the second Ghostbusters.
Well, Dune 2 is something that I get to see on Saturday at 12:15, and I'm jumping for joy. So I know what I'm doing on Friday.
You're going to have to if you're going to see it on Saturday. You got to get on that first one.
I'm watching Dune 1 on Friday right when I get home from work, and then I'll probably do Masters of the Air, and I'll probably save Irish Wish until after Dune 2 on Saturday. But one thing that I did not mention is Crimes of Fashion, the brand new Hallmark mystery film, comes out this Friday. I will be watching that one and talking about that one, so I am looking forward to that one. I don't know that. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. I think that goes only to cinema. I don't think so. I could be wrong. But this one's right. You'll Never Find Me on Shudder. I think that might be one that's more up your alley. Maybe.
Maybe I'd have to watch a trailer or something, or just throw it on if it's short.
Yeah. And then Shirley is a film all about the first woman, the first Black woman in Congress. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. I'm hoping it's a good film, but we'll just have to see. I got a press email for this one, and it's pretty much they just sent me some photos, and I requested a screener link. They don't have any screeners available for it, so that broke my soul a little bit.
I'm kind of scared with that one. I'm worried. It's getting built up a lot, and I just hope I like it. Yeah, I really do. I feel like it's getting built up too much.
I'm gonna keep my expectations low for it, man. I really am. Arthur the King does come out this week to theaters, but I am not gonna get to see that because my theater is getting Dune 2. Yes. The 26th is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. I will not be seeing that in theaters because one, my theater will not play that. And two, if my theater was playing it, I am not willing to pay the prices for the Fathom event. But we will see. And I will be completely honest with you. I don't even know I don't even know if that film is even going to go to that many theaters.
I don't know either. Just like that Mickey Mouse Trap. I don't know if that'll go to many theaters either.
Yeah. That's probably going to go to some theaters, but it's probably just going to be like select theaters, probably
Yeah.
like in New York and stuff like that. But that is everything, guys. That's everything. But the 26th, the 23rd, we do have Shifting Gears, and on the 30th, we have I have to look up the title. An Easter Bloom. I believe it's An Easter Bloom with Amy T.
Yeah, I
Gardner.
think so. Yeah, because I got the poster for it earlier. I think that's it.
But then we will be doing our Tyler Hines ranking, Insidious movie ranking, all 5 of them. I will have to rent 2 of them, I think. With the first one and the third one are streaming. It was the same way with The Conjuring. That pissed me off because I'm like, well, the first one's streaming, the second one isn't, the third one's streaming, the first none isn't streaming, but the second none is. So I had to rent some, but you know what? It's fine. It's for the rankings, and you guys are widening my my horror knowledge in a way.
Yeah. Next after that's going to be the Exorcist film. So get ready.
Nope. I draw the line at Exorcist. I will gladly do the Texas Chainsaw films next. If you wanted to do that, or if you wanted to do Chucky or the Leprechaun films, I'm down either way. We also got the Underworld films to do. And the Resident Evil, but I think the big one left is pretty much Insidious.
Yeah.
Unless you want to throw a few more in there, like a Sinister and Sinister 2, the Woman in Black, and the Woman in Black 2.
I can't sit through the Woman in Black 1 and 2 again. I can't even sit through those myself again.
What about the Sinister films? Do you own those?
Yeah.
I have those.
You do the Hatchet films.
Yeah. Hey, those are short though. I mean, I'm willing to do those. But Insidious is next, and then the Tyler Hines. But all the horror stuff, they will be picking them out. They know my limits. I said no Conjuring, and I did Conjuring. But The Exorcist is a line I'm not gonna cross. I'm not touching that shit. But the Insidious films, I'm looking forward to it.
You'll be all right. Just don't play them up in your mind. You'll be all right.
Well, in a way, yeah. The Conjuring films, the first Conjuring, oh my god, that buildup was great. I love the Warrens now; they're great. I love them. The second one, I need to own it, but but there's the show, guys. Not saying that this is going to be every single week, but we will do it when we can. And with the new setup, I think it might be more fun for both of us now. Because the way we used to do it, it used to be a news show and a new release show. And where it's not really a review show anymore, unless we watch like a big new release, then it's going to be what we watched. But there's everything, guys. Like and subscribe if you're new here. Thank you for over 1,000 subscribers. We are keep on going up. And where can we find you on YouTube?
Scottie and Ashley Johnson.
And Ashley likes to read.
Yeah, so she's not on it as much, even though her name's in the title of the YouTube page. She's into the books now, so she has her own other YouTube channel that she does. So,
and I will leave those 2 links down below. Get Ashley some more subscribers and send her some love. But there's everything, guys, and we will see all of you guys next time.